flash screen. There we are. Hey, hi family. Hola.
Hey.
We're glad to have you here for BJOT. First of all, thank you for joining us. We're really glad that you did. And if you could, if you press the like or one of the buttons down on the left side over, I guess it's your right, you'll see it. Yeah. And that helps to pass it on. Also, remember, this video stays up for a while afterwards. Yes. So if you enjoyed the conversation and you think, oh, my brother over here would love to hear that, or my sister should hear this, you can click share and send it to them as a direct message, or even just share it on your news feed and let everybody hear what's going on BJOT.
Yeah. Let us know where you're at, where you're tuning in from, and all of that. We love to see you.
Yeah. Since Brian's not here, of course, we have him there so you can see him anyway.
Oh, Brian.
Hate to do anything without Brian here.
His face looks so young. Just,
yeah.
You know, it's young Brian.
So today we wanted to talk about being active in your Christian faith. One of the things that can get me anxious in doing this show especially is we talk so much about how to think about things Christianly.
Yeah.
And so we get our thought process all in line, and yet you got to do something with that, or it's just going to explode inside of you.
Yeah.
And recently, the city mission did the stand-in for the homeless, and over 3,000 people went downtown to Public Square. God bless you if you're one of them. Right. I know some people who did. And they actually stood in. They had a name tag for who they were, a third grade child or a high school senior or whoever, that they were a homeless person they were standing in for to kind of signify this is how many homeless we have just in the city of Cleveland. And so they were active. We hear about a lot of other church ministries that are feeding the poor, collecting school supplies for kids to pass out next year as school begins, things like that. And then of course Pastor Morrison just yesterday came in and introduced us to the idea of Convoy of Hope, which will be coming up September 7th. And you find out all about that on our website too, or on our Facebook page. But Kelly, if I recall, I thought you said you'd been involved with a Convoy of Hope.
Yeah, I was. I worked at Convoy of Hope in Chicago, actually. And what was really cool is there's everything from booths where you can get your hair cut to medical needs and book bags and pens and just supplies for anything and everything. There's food that's served there. There's groceries that are being handed out. And it goes such a long way in helping. I just remember that there were children there. Usually you think like you want a stuffed animal or something, but they were so excited just to get pens. And for me, it was one of those where, like, you'll go to a booth at an event and you'll see a pen and you're like, oh, I don't really need one, but I guess I'll just take one. But they were so excited just to get something that simple.
Oh, wow.
And so it kind of just shows that there is a need, and it's a great way to reach out to the community and give back.
Yeah, it is. It's happening locally here, like in Maple Heights, in Cleveland, September 7th. If you look below, after we're done, not right now, look below, you can click on the link for Convoy of Hope and register to help September 7th. If you're thinking, well, I got kids, I don't have time, I asked, because I got a bunch of kids, and you can bring them with you and have them help. Yeah. So this brings my question about, like, what, if you, in ways that you've been the hands and feet for Jesus, how has it impacted you, or how has it changed you? The reason I'm asking that is because personally, I'm realizing it goes more than just helping the needy. I think the Lord, just like in ministry, I've talked to people in ministry that are friends of mine, and they're like, oh my goodness, the sermons or the lessons I teach, even being a parent, changes you. Like the work he does in you is almost way more you feel sometimes than what he's doing through you. So a lot of times we don't go or we don't invest the time because we're like, we're thinking, even though we shouldn't, that it's about the other person. But there's so much that he does in you. One example, especially when we get the kids involved, but even ourselves, we're so wrapped up in pettiness and in what the Lord's not doing, or how life isn't working, or how things are inconvenient, that when you serve others, like practically speaking, the world, you realize like not just how blessed you are, but also how much more useful you can be. And it almost is like a snowball effect. Now you're not caught up in what's not working for me. Now you're thinking, what else can I do? And how much more can I invest? You know, and so it is worth the investment, not just because of what he can do through you, but what he can do in you. And then as you continue to grow, then your impact is even that much greater. Have you seen that, or how else have you been impacted?
One thing that comes to my mind, I have a friend who's got 2 teenage daughters, high school age, both very accomplished musicians. I don't know why those words were hard to say together, but and one thing that they've done is they go to a nursing home where the residents there can enjoy their music, and for them it's a chance to perform. It's not, on stage at Carnegie Hall, but then they're not that nervous either.
Yeah.
But the people just love it, and you feel when you're ministering, and you feel that love back from the people you're ministering to. Boy, that just builds you up so much.
Yeah.
And so they go pretty frequently, and the residents love them, and they've developed really close friendships with a lot of them, and that's just one example of how something that you're doing anyway, you're going to be practicing. Why not do it there?
And the thing is, you may think, well, I'm not great at anything musical. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a teacher or an educator. You know what? There is an opportunity just to pray with individuals. And anybody who goes there has an opportunity to pray with someone.
Yeah.
And that can be a huge impact on its own.
Hi, Benny. Benny says this Brian picture is hilarious. Mommy is on the line. Hi, Mommy. This is Milagros Mommy. She says, yes,
Mommy.
Brian, you are missed. Lillian says, thank you for letting us know, Lillian, where you're at, Portage Lake. And she says Portage Lake fireworks are the best. I wonder how far is Portage Lake from Cleveland, Lillian? Anita, hi, Miss Anita, and Rod. Rod said, is that a dartboard overlay featuring Brian's mug? Hi, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to share us. Julie, Rob is a fan of the show. Thanks for tuning in. And let us know, how has the Lord worked in you as you've been the hands and feet of Jesus? It doesn't have to look like a big event like on Convoy of Hope coming up September 7th. A lot of times it's just sitting with the lonely. It could be a neighbor nearby that maybe just got a divorce. One of the things my kids have been wanting to do, and I haven't been great at doing. They've wanted to volunteer at a nursing home. But it's simple things. Isaiah, he really enjoys being around the elderly, and he was like, oh, I would love to go and just play checkers or read them a book.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to look like labor. Can you imagine how far that would go in someone's life of just playing checkers in a nursing home? Yeah.
And you think about, they see the other residents, their peers, so to speak, and they see the nursing staff, which are pretty much the same people, maybe different shifts. So they've got a very limited world that they're interacting with.
Right.
And when somebody young comes in and wants to be with them, what an infusion of life that would be there.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a great investment, when you just take time. I think some of the times that I've felt most invested in are the times when people just go and grab coffee with me. Like, we're not doing anything special, or we're just sitting on each other's couches and watching a movie.
Yeah.
And it makes such a huge difference.
It does. And we're basically highlighting how you miss out. We miss out when we don't serve.
Yeah.
A lot of times we feel like it's a favor we're doing to whoever it is that it needs, but you're missing out on what the Lord can do in you and transform you in a way where like there's no going back.
Yeah.
Deborah says she's in East Lake. Hi, Deborah. I love it when you comment. He says you don't have to be some major door-to-door or peer evangelist to do what you can. I think it took years for me to realize how I serve in the shadows as a camera operator, an editor, or facilities assistant to support the ministry instead of being the talking, performing, extroverted. Yeah. Also good for your daughters, Ron. I used to play violin for people as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aichin. Thank you, Aichin. Lillian says her drive is 45 to 50 minutes, I guess, from Cleveland, Portage Lake. So maybe I'll try the Portage Lake fireworks next year. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer says, while I agree that there's a benefit to us when we are the hands and feet, I do think we have to be careful that we do not go into serving with a focus on what we can get out of it.
Yeah.
It can become self-centered and too focused on our needs and not the needs of the community. That is a great point. Rima says, great conversation. Ron, Portage Lake is roughly 45 minutes from your location. Hi, Ron. Hi, Rima. Hi. That is a great point, Jennifer. Even in the context of me, like when I use the thing of serving the kids, one of the things I realized, though, is that you do miss. You're so focused on serving, that I didn't realize, oh my gosh, there's like transformation that the Lord wants to make in me first. Or you could be teaching a Bible study and be so focused on what you're doing in somebody else's life or teaching that you miss, like, oh my goodness, maybe the Lord's trying to teach me something through the service. But yes, our focus, absolutely, Jennifer, should be other-centered, not I'm going to serve so that the Lord can do something in me. That you're right.
Well, and there was actually something that I saw the other day where it says it's not about being blessed, it's about being a blessing to someone.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
we were talking in church Sunday, a couple of gals that I sit by, because everybody's got the place they sit in church, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
So a couple of the gals I sit by do a lot of work with the homeless. And as we were talking about what they do, the one said, you really have to be careful how you approach them. When you come in and you think nothing of saying, I'd like to give you this, or what can I do for you? But it can be taken as you're the one coming in high and mighty. I have all this great gifts for you. And she says, instead, you have to come with more of a, I've got some extra this. Can I share it with you?
Oh, yeah.
And be more of a humble. And that's something I wouldn't have even thought of.
Yeah.
I would just be busting in there like, look, here, let me give you all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd say, you pompous pork chop.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd call me.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me, I'll get to that in a second. Hi, Ron. Ron says he's in Portage Lake. Benny, Mayfield is a better drive for me. She said Mayfield fireworks are amazing, but I missed it last Saturday night. The best show, hands down, we've seen in years. At least 3 finales. Oh, I love that part. 3 of them? What? He said he and his wife were amazed. That reminds me what you said. When I did a volunteer project or volunteer trip with my school to Dominican Republic. Not connected to my family. It was just it just so happened to be in Dominican Republic. We were in the middle of nowhere, like in the mountains, hours from any nearby city. Literally no electricity and no running water. And so we spent a month there. And there was one representative of the Peace Corps there, and I noticed that attitude from her. And I wish maybe she missed it, maybe they do it, but the need for training on sensitivity and like your approach and your tone, because even for believers it could come across like I'm up here and I'm serving you, which is our point of you're not just serving just to be serving. Remember who you are, remember whose they are, why you're doing it.
I've heard that said even, I'm going to try to be delicate here, a suburban church maybe going in to help out an urban church with their VBS or something. And you may bring in an attitude like, oh, well, we're here to teach you. And as if you're going to a foreign mission field.
Yeah.
And these are brothers and sisters in Christ. This is family members.
Yes.
You're just helping out, the same as if, your daughter had a baby and you're going to go mow her yard and cook for her or whatever.
Yeah.
You're helping the family.
Right.
That is a great point. Hi, Marilyn. I haven't seen you.
Hey.
Where are you tuning in from? Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to share us. That's a great point. And a lot of times in those situations, when I've seen it done right, is you have suburban churches going to the inner city and acknowledging that there's already work happening there.
Yes.
And instead of saying, let me come and help, saying, what are you doing and how can we come alongside?
Right.
I think that's more respectful and, not trying to come with that attitude that you say is wrong. Yeah. Then he says, if you're looking for one soon, for the last few years, me and my wife go to the city of Hudson fireworks. Oh, yeah, I go to church in Hudson. They shuttle bus you from your car to the park, and traffic isn't tough. Hudson's show never disappoints. Oh, that's nice to hear.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for letting us know. Where do you go for fireworks? We're considering Cleveland's. It's been a few years. We've done it before, but I love. It's like it looks like a train, like a boat.
Yeah.
But it's something in the middle of not the middle, but in the lake.
Like a barge.
It's like a barge,
nice.
behind the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it comes out of there. It's so nice. There's been years we've seen it from Edgewater Park, which is like west, and there's been years we've been like right at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Hey.
Janet, good morning. Janet says pompous pork chop. Ron should do something to teach us what else we can be said instead of the regular stuff.
That's right.
Mike Gonzalez, thank you for tuning in. Mike says younger folks could simply offer to mow a senior's lawn.
Yes.
So true. Sometimes we wait for a program or a project and there's service right next to you.
Or even cooking a meal. I'm allergic to grass, so that might not be a good idea for me.
Yeah.
We've got a family friend she was my mom's best friend, so she's, a generation ahead of me. And we went over one day just to talk with her. I took my boys, this was before they went out west. And they found out so much wisdom from her and things that she'd seen in her life that resonated with the issues that were strong in their life today. And it was really a great discussion. And sometimes that's it. You just go and sit and talk with them. They have so much life experience that they can tell you about that you're missing out on, and you might miss completely if you don't hurry and get over there.
Yeah. Right. We're encouraging each other to take advantage of being the hands and feet of Jesus right here locally, right next to you, your neighbor, ways that God can use you and bless others through, and then don't miss the lessons that you can learn. Chin says, also remember 1 Corinthians 12 about one body with many members. Paraphrased, if everyone were just one part, how could one part accomplish everything?
Yep.
Where would the body be? And then not everyone is gifted in the same way. It's very true. Deborah, he says, very simple. Or take the garbage in and out. It could be elderly. It could be somebody that's sick or a single mom. And maybe there's a snowstorm. Different needs that you have.
Yeah, snow is a good example. In my neighborhood, I've got a snow blower. My neighbor next door has a snow blower, and across the street, and between the three of us, we go quite a ways. Just do a couple extra houses worth of sidewalk. Kids got to walk down to the corner to get on the bus in the morning. Why make them walk through the snow? Right. Spend a few extra minutes and get some more done.
Right. Thank you for joining us, Rob, Rima, Julie, Deborah, Brian, Mike. Thanks for commenting. Chin, I love to see your comments. Remember that the video stays on the page. Share it. We're trying. We mentioned a few things throughout the show, just encouraging each other to be mindful when it comes to fireworks, to be considerate when it comes to fireworks, and even to find ways, simple, practical ways that you can be a blessing, like a lot of the ones you've suggested, mowing lawns, taking out the trash.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And share us, like us, and
Love
thank
us.
you for joining us. Have fun. Let us know where you're going, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Hasta luego.
Bye.
Happy trails to you.
Do.